I failed year 12 maths and still got into medical school. After getting BBE on my year 12 mocks, I was told medicine was basically off the table. Teachers, advisors, everyone told me I had no chance and I should apply to a different course. But somehow, I turned those grades around and got into one of the most competitive degrees in the UK. To understand how, we need to go back to the moment where everything went wrong. Leading up to the end of year 12, I genuinely thought I had my end of year mocks under control. I wasn't a top student, but I expected to at least BBB. I struggled with my subjects, skipped extra support sessions, and spent more time on Fortnite than revision. But I never had a proper wake-up call, so I just coasted in my subjects. Biology and chemistry mocks were just fine. I walked out confident, but then came maths. The first few questions were okay, but by question 4, everything fell apart. Concepts I didn't recognize, methods I didn't understand. I started skipping through the paper, hoping for something familiar. I realized that there is levels to A-level maths, and I wasn't even on level 1. I left the exam hall with half the paper unanswered, and my confidence completely destroyed. When I got my paper back, I expected maybe a C, a D at worst. Instead, I saw an E. An E meant I had failed year 12 maths. All I had was one resit left, and if I failed that, I wouldn't even be allowed into year 13. Medicine wouldn't just be unlikely, it would be impossible. One grade, one resit, 1 month. Everything I worked for was on the line. My maths teacher was disappointed, the career advisor told me I was being unrealistic, and even I started searching for random university courses with low grade requirements. But at my lowest, something snapped. I decided I wouldn't let one grade, one mistake, or even one opinion decide the rest of my life. When I went home with that failed paper, I realized something terrifying. If I didn't fix maths, medicine was completely over. I had 3 weeks to relearn an entire year's worth of maths, days to prepare for my applied mock, 2 months for the UCAT, and 0 room for failure. So I did something extreme. I didn't just revise around life. Revision became my life. Questions, mistakes, repeat. No breaks, no excuses, no days off, all day, every day. On Maths Genie and Zishan Maths, the GOAT of A-level maths. Some mornings I woke up exhausted, stared at my desk, and seriously questioned if it was even worth it anymore. But I was at the brink of failure, the brink of losing all my work up until this point. So I had no choice but to push through. First came the applied mock, and I walked out with a B, which sounded good, but I was still predicted a C in maths, a grade that would instantly get you rejected from every UK medical school. Then came the resit, another brutal test. I barely scraped a D. I had finally passed year 12 maths, but in reality, nothing changed. Medicine was still slipping away. Now all was left was the UCAT. Every day for 2 months straight, I spent on med entry, grinding every UCAT subsection and learning from mistakes. Come the day of the UCAT, it was a fight. Every section tested my resilience and my brain power to the extreme. Coming out the UCAT, I achieved 2,670 Band 2, a competitive score but nothing impressive or stand out to medical schools. The final challenge now was my predicted grades, A, B, C, subpar for medicine. And the worst part, I had 1 month until the UCAS application deadline, and only one end of topic test left for maths and chemistry. One chance to turn everything around. So I went all in. Hours every day, no shortcuts, and I took full advantage of resources such as physics and maths tutor, alloy chemistry, and again the GOAT Zishan Maths. And thankfully I got an A on both tests. That was enough proof to show my teachers that I could in fact be a top scoring student, and at last I was raised to AAA predicted grades with mere days to spare. Nothing about this was perfect. I wasn't the smartest, fastest, most talented, or most disciplined, but I refused to let one mistake determine the rest of my career. I sacrificed free time, pushed through fatigue, and in the end, I turned what should have been impossible into genuine potential. After sending my UCAS application, I waited for months, worrying maybe my portfolio wasn't enough, thinking maybe failing year 12 maths had already done the damage. But then the interview invites came in, Edge Hill first, then Hull York. I was no longer failing, but nothing was guaranteed yet. One bad interview answer and I will be back to where I started. In the months leading up to the interview, I spent my efforts intentionally. I did all my year 13 work in school until about 4 to 5 PM, attending support sessions and staying after school. Then I'd go home and spend the rest of the day preparing for interviews. The biggest change for me was how I viewed interviews. Instead of memorizing generic answers, I took genuine interest into the different aspects of medicine that I could be asked on, like ethics, obesity, and prioritization, turning interviews from a test I feared to a discussion I enjoyed. This makes a huge difference, as interviews can tell who actually cares about medicine versus those who are just reciting the same generic answers from the internet, making you stand out from the crowd and helping you answer curveball and follow-up questions, which are designed to expose scripted answers. In the end, I secured offers for both Edge Hill and Hull York Medical School. I chose Hull York as they gave me a contextual offer of AAB, which in the end didn't even matter as I finished with A-star.
Anything A above, I'll be really happy. Just like I said, A*A, what can I say?
You've done really well,
Wow.
yeah?
Yeah.
If you failed one or more subjects and you're watching this thinking medicine or any other competitive course is no longer an option, I was in your exact same position. Failing year 12 maths didn't stop me from getting into medicine, but what would have stopped me is deciding that failure defined me. There were 3 things I learned from this whole process. First, medical schools care far more about how you respond to setback than whether you had any setbacks in the first place. Everyone has strong grades, but not everyone can show resilience in the face of failure. Second, interviews become much easier when you stop trying to impress and start talking with genuine passion. You can't fake passion, and interviewers notice this immediately in candidates. Third, consistency and discipline outweighs confidence and motivation 10 out of 10 times. I wasn't always confident or motivated, but I kept showing up anyways. So if you're doubted, behind, or feel like you've already messed up, don't quit early. If I could turn BBE into A*A and get into medicine, you can turn your setbacks into comebacks too, as a minor setback is a major comeback.